Hey guys, it's Jen here. Today Subi needs an oil change, so we'll get that done. She is a little bit over at 7,000 kilometers. Usually they get done around 5. I noticed after 5,000 kilometers, oil does tend to get a little sluggish. So normally I start with changing my filter, and that's just so all the old oil can drain through while we drain out the rest of it. Part number for this is 7371. The XG is the ultra synthetic. It's a little bit finer of an oil filter, although you can use a cheaper one if needed. So this one here, luckily it's a top mount, but tends to create a bit of a mess. So you just go ahead and unscrew it, maybe. Might need Pat's help for this one because, you know, a little extra strength because I don't have the wrench for this.
She seems to be on there.
Yeah.
You want to go to camera?
So if you have a hard time doing it, you can get yourself a type claw for oil filters, or there's like a special strap to remove them. Unfortunately, I don't have one quite yet. Thankfully, Pat's strong.
The muscle behind the camera.
Just go ahead, twist it off. Yeah, that oil's looking a little sludgy.
How can you tell?
It's thin moving, it's thick. Oil when you pour it in is usually honey colored, more of an amber. This is starting to get a little bit black. I usually don't like to let my oil get to that point. You see a lot of cars when the higher they get in between oil changes, the worse the oil gets. So that's not going anywhere. So I'm just gonna use a couple of rags here just to soak up some of it. Now what I'm going to do is continue to let this drain after I've wiped it out. Get out some of the grit that it's filtered out. It's always good to keep it clean. You want to make sure that it is clean, that there is no buildup in oil, because the oil will get hot as you run your vehicle and it will create a bit of a barrier between the seal here and your oil filter, which will allow oil to seep out. It also allows you to check to make sure there is no extra gasket stuck behind, because of the fact that you had a double gasket, you're going to have leaks again. That's pretty good there. So this right here will go into the laundry when we get to work, because it's a special bin we have just for oily rags. I'm going to leave this off while we go underneath to drain the oil out of the bottom.
Now, what kind of tools do we need to do this?
Well, I have myself a socket, a 17 mil, and an oil pan here. This one's a bit of a smaller socket. Usually I like to use a 3/4 or a half just for the extra leverage, but this one should be good. Make sure it's actually going the right way, because you don't want to tighten it. You want to make sure it goes loose. So just get that on there. Get it cracked. Once you get it cracked, just pull it off for a second. While I get the drain pan out, you don't want to make a mess. Now, when you get your car on ramps, normally you want to make sure the wheels are chalked. We don't have any chalk, so you always make sure your e-brake is on, because the last thing you want is for something to give and the car to fall on you. There we go. Now it's nice and loose. I can just use my fingers to twist it off. Always wear gloves when doing this, just because the oil will destroy your hands. It's not good for you. The ones I'm wearing right now are Venom Steel. They're really, really thick gloves, which are great. I find they last a lot longer. They don't leak through.
You might want to pull your sleeve up.
Yep. And that's why I'm wearing safety glasses as well.
Yep, safety first. What's a good tip? Do you want to leave your car warm or cold when you do this?
Oh, definitely you want to let it cool down first. Some vehicles that I've encountered have their filters and their pans right where all their coolant lines are, and we've been burned so many times at work. And the whole thing is falling back. There we go.
Now, why should you do your oil change every 5,000 or 7,000 or 10,000?
Just because it gets thicker and thicker. Like right now it's good. It's pouring out nicely. It still has a bit of an amber hue to it. But you can smell like the engine's been flooded a couple times from a couple cold starts. Driving to work, you know, at 6:30 in the morning, you're running out of time. Driving with it cold. Or when it's really cold, you have to crank it over a couple times to actually get the battery to take and the engine to turn over.
What kind of oil are we going to use?
Subaru calls specifically for 020. There are a couple of different options you can go with. Always check your user's manual because you don't want to stray from that. It'll avoid any warranties. It could cause leaks. It could cause like sluggish engines. It could possibly destroy your engines. You should see what people do with their vehicles. It's like when you get a vehicle in that's turbo, they're calling for 020 synthetic and they're putting in 520 conventional.
Another good thing is if you're doing oil change at home, you should have cardboard so you lay on so you're not laying on the cold concrete.
Yeah, keep your clothes clean. Not that I'm clean at all anymore. I'm used to it. So while it's finishing, I'm just going to go get myself a cloth, wake myself up a little bit. So every time I take the plug out, I always like to make sure I clean it before I put it back, just to prevent any dirt from getting in the threads and causing any like cross-threading or burrs in the thread.
How much oil is in your car?
Should be about 5 liters. I checked the oil level when I first started and it was full still, which isn't too bad. We're almost done here. Give everything a wipe.
Now, since your car check light, the oil light did not come on, do you still have to reset it?
Mine I don't think actually has one.
Okay.
Like it'll read you the lifespan, but it won't give you that warning. At least I haven't come across it yet.
Yeah, that's because we do the oil change supposedly every 5,000 kilometers.
Yeah. But yeah, if yours has an oil life reading, I would definitely get it checked, like switched over each time. Since I do my own oil changes, I don't have like stickers so I can write how many kilometers needed done at. Well, all I do is I actually just pick one of my trips and I reset that trip light, and then when the trip hits 5,000, that's when I go for my oil change.
Or do it at home, depending.
Well, it's just it, yeah. But it's more like a matter of, I don't even take it to work sometimes. I do my own work at work just because we have the hoist. It's a lot easier to get underneath. It's a lot easier to see what's going on. Thankfully, work allows you to do that as long as you do your own work order.
So is it worth doing this at home or just bring it to a shop?
Oh, it really depends. Like our oil we got on sale for $29.97. Our filter was $14. So if I would have taken it to Walmart, I would have been spending a lot more than doing it at home. But if you're paying full price for oil, definitely take it to a shop. It's a lot cheaper. We're almost done. I can make sure it all drains out. I think our oil changes come to $85.46 or something like that. But when you spend $50 for oil and, you know, $20 for a filter.
That's still, you're saving $10. Well, you're saving yourself the hassle of doing it yourself.
Yeah, the only real extra cost that brings up to is the environmental fee of $3 to dispose of the oil, right? Because you can't just dump it out. You don't want to just dump it out. Like this here, we're going to pour back into the empty jug when we're done and take it into Walmart Canadian Tire so they can dispose of it properly because they get it recycled, right?
Is there a fee for that?
$3.
That's not bad.
At least at Walmart it's $3. I'm
Yeah.
not sure what Canadian Tires is.
So we picked a beautiful day to do it. It's
Finally warm and the garage isn't flooded.
yeah.
Right now it's what, plus 10, 11?
Something like that.
Yeah.
It's a nice warm day. We already went out for a drive before. We came back, put it up on ramps, and let it sit for a bit.
Now when you're doing ramps, if you're doing ramps yourself, always make sure you have someone there to spot you. That way you don't go off the ramp and destroy your car. Or go through a garage.
I learned that from experience with my Grand Am.
Yeah.
I destroyed my underglow lights.
Another thing you can do if you don't have, like I said, if you don't have chocks, make sure your e-brakes on. I would make sure your e-brakes on even if you have chocks, honestly. If you don't have these little ramps though, you can just get a couple of jacks. Make sure they hold the weight of your vehicle though. And then your vehicle should have jack points, either on the sills or on the frame. Just go ahead and I'm going to start this off with my fingers so it doesn't get cross-threaded. A little bit harder because of the fact I'm at a weird angle right here.
You can use a socket if it helps.
I usually like to start with my hands first, just so it doesn't get cross-threaded.
You know what I mean? Put the bolt on the socket.
Yeah.
Just the socket itself, not the ratchet. Just because it'll give you that extra grip on it.
Or I can't put my fingers in.
Yeah.
Here.
Is that easier?
A little bit.
Tip of the day, put your socket on it first.
And make sure it's going the right way so we don't take it back out. Yep, we're good.
Now, how tight are you going to do it?
People tend to over tighten these. All you want to do is make sure it's snug and then do like another half turn from there. Same with the filters. Like some filters you get in are way on too tight. I've actually had to twist them in half to get them out of vehicles.
Would you consider yours been too tight?
No. That was just from, you know, being used. Like if I would have actually hit the oil change at the 5,000 kilometers, it would have probably came off no problem. So now it's tight, and I'm just going to give it a bit of a turn, and we're good. Take it out. Wipe it all down, so it's nice and clean. And I'm going to slide on out.
To the top of the car we go.
Yep. Alright. So I don't need those safety glasses anymore. I like to wear them just because I'm used to road salt falling in my face and in my eyes when I'm underneath the vehicle. Although I would have had oil this time just because of the wrong angle for that pan. Alright, so before you put your filter back on, you're going to want to open up your oil.
What kind of oil are we using?
Pennzoil, 020. It was on sale.
Okay.
Oil's a matter of preference. I know Valvoline is one of the highest tested. Quaker State's one of the lowest tested. Mobil 1 seems to be mid-range. Pennzoil seems to be pretty good. It's one that I use most of the time.
Small issue.
Yep.
We don't have a funnel.
Oh, shit. I usually recommend having one of those too. Might be Pat too, since he's all like, I never spill anything.
I've never spilled oil.
Alright. So all you're going to do is put your finger in the oil. Making sure you're wearing those gloves. Get around the gasket here.
So why are you doing that?
Just, it helps create the seal.
Okay.
So it doesn't leak through. It makes it go on nicer. It just, it's the way I've always been taught. It's what they even recommend on the filters. Go ahead, give it a quick twist. Once it's tight. And we're good there.
And never ever let me touch it.
Or you're getting it off.
No.
This is on pretty tight too.
Remember your, what car was that? Keep going.
Oh, the Cobalt.
Yeah.
You broke my drain plug in half a turn.
Yeah.
You went the wrong way. You went to tighten it instead of loosen it.
Yeah. After I had two people tell me, yeah, that's my fault. It was an issue of one person telling somebody the wrong angle.
Yeah.
All right, Jennifer.
Oh, I'm probably gonna spill this. You know that, right?
You want to put rags around it then?
I'm gonna have to. We don't have a smaller empty bottle, do we?
No.
Water bottle?
No.
Actually, we do. Okay.
You got this. Put a rag. Yeah, just put a rag around it. You should be good to go.
The other thing I could do too is just empty it of like a 5 milliliter water bottle and just use that as a funnel. The Valvoline will actually have a little valve in here, so it doesn't burp. That's my biggest concern.
Really?
It burps, yeah.
Look at that, without a funnel.
Now my vehicle is a 2.0 NA, which means non-aspirated. There's no turbo in it. So it should take just the 5 liters. Usually when you get bigger than the 2.0, it starts to take a little bit more. Not always much more, but a little bit more. I've had smaller engines with the turbo take a lot more.
So when we're talking about a lot more, what are we talking about?
I've had one vehicle in the garage that took 6 liters and it was a 1.8 turboed.
Ah, okay. So something to invest in is going to be an oil funnel.
Yeah. Like right now it's nice. We're in the garage so it's quiet. There's no wind. If I had wind, this would be a different story. If it was cold and I was like shivering, it'd be a different story. And you can always make your own funnel too. Like one of the best funnels like I've ever used is just a half a bottle from a 1 liter of oil from a top up. Just cut it in half and use it as a funnel. So once I get this bottle perfectly stable sideways, should be at half a bottle.
What are you going to do with half a bottle?
I want to check my oil level, see where we're at.
Okay. See, good thing with the rag is that, catch right there.
Yeah.
That, see, it caught the oil.
I'm not the most graceful. I tell everybody I'm as graceful as a drunk flamingo. So my engine oil checker, the dipstick is here. Checker. Using some weird terms today apparently. And you never look at it the first time. Just wipe it off, stick it back in. And we're just not even on the dipstick. So it needs a lot more.
I'm trying to balance myself here while backing up.
Yeah, we put tires in front of the ramps just so the ramps wouldn't slide driving the car in, and we didn't move the tires. Our garage has a bit of a downward slope to the end of it as opposed to the door.
Yeah, I find that one kind of weird. But you know what? You can do this outside. You can do this in the parking lot. You can do this anywhere you want.
If you're renting, make sure you're allowed to first.
Yep.
If you spill, there are different cleaners you can get. WD-40 makes one, which isn't too bad.
Do we sell that at Walmart?
We do, the degreaser and cleaner.
Nice.
You can actually get garage floor cleaner. That's the 5 liters.
So now what do we do?
I'm gonna check my oil levels again.
All right. So now we did buy an extra 1 liter.
Yep. It's always good to have an extra. If you don't know how much your vehicle takes, it's always good to have a little bit extra just to be safe. It's not going to go really bad. So right here, I'm in between the 2 dots, so I'm at the safe mark. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the cap back on my oil and start my car. And what that's going to do is push the oil up into the filter, and it'll give me a different reading on my oil level.
You gonna want me to start your car?
You're on that side if you wouldn't mind.
Okay. I'll give you like this.
Let me take off my glove first.
Yep. Oh, look at a beautiful engine bay. Ooh,
Yeah. All right, so Pat's gonna go ahead and start it.
That light is hot.
Foot on the brake.
Yeah, make sure that brake's on. And while we're up here, we're gonna go down. No leaks. We cut a signal, we're good. We're good. So I went underneath the car there in case you didn't hear me, just to make sure that it wasn't leaking from the drain plug. Filter's holding on good, everything's good there. Pat's gonna come take his phone back so I can check the oil level again, because it should have dropped. So just pull this out, wipe it down, Yeah, so that just basically coats the oil in the engine in fresh oil, pushes the oil up into the filter, lets you know there's no leaks in it, and my oil level is down to half, so it's a good thing about that extra liter.
I got it.
Yep.
I'm helping. You can put a rag around it, or are you confident enough with just the small one?
I want to put a rag around just because when the oil gets hot on the engine there, it'll create white smoke, and I don't want to freak myself out.
Head gasket.
Yeah, Subaru, right? It's gonna be everybody's biggest fear.
So you can put the whole thing or half?
I'm going to start with just a little bit at a time, because it will go up fast from here, because everything is already filled with oil.
So now do I have to restart the car?
No.
Okay. So now it's just straight
Wait.
looking.
And we're almost there, so just need a little bit more. You'll notice some dipsticks will get different readings depending on which side's closer to the engine. One of the hardest dipsticks I find to read are for Nissans. You can check those things all day long and get a different reading every time.
And again, the filter we're using is a Fram XG7317.
Like, you can use any filter basically for synthetic oil, but the ones that are made for synthetic are finer, so they work a lot nicer. And there we go, right on the dot.
So now we're good.
That's it. So now we're gonna close everything up. Or Pat's gonna close everything up.
No, I'm just leave.
Cap.
Okay, I'm doing it.
I got it.
Thank you.
Looked a little awkward with one hand. And I have a little bit of oil because you need a top up. Check my coolant levels are pretty good. Washer fluid's low.
We got some.
Belts look good. It's a nice time to look over your engine. It's not very often you actually open up your engine on a nice day, have some nice light. So it's always good to look things over, make sure everything looks okay. And well, that's it. So comment, like, subscribe. If you have any tips or ideas or any other vehicles you want to see done, we'll see what we can do. Just leave a comment below. Let us know. Have a great day. Bye.